Cocktails are all about bringing every element together and finding a right balance. And that is exactly what I try to do through my many stories. And when you say it straight from the heart, the connect is always there. Hi, my name is Yangdup Lama. I've actually been a bartender for over 2 decades, almost 3 decades now, and I just love it. As a student, I was more of a very average person, and I really didn't know what I was good at. So I was always looking for an option where I could not have physics, chemistry, biology, and maths. And then when I was in the 11th standard, that is when I realized there was a course called hotel management, and which had nothing of these. That's how I opted for hotel management, but I had no idea about the industry. When I finished my hotel school, came to Delhi to work and become a hotelier. So I actually worked with the Hyatt Regency here in Delhi, while everybody else was sent to banquets. Luckily for me, I was sent to the bar. I think that's where the journey began. When I started off, it was just another job. But as I started working at the bar, making drinks, meeting people, doing whatever else is required to be a good bartender, I think it started to grow within me. And over a period of time, I also realized it was just beyond making drinks, serving drinks, and being good to people. I think it was more of a social space for the guest as well as for the bartender. And I think that was a wonderful connect. The first time I went behind the bar, my job was not to make cocktails then. My job was just to pour street drinks, much more simpler drinks, like a whiskey soda, whiskey on the rocks. So, just serve a beer. So my job was just to do simple things at the bar. But despite of the fact that it was more simple, and it was my first day behind the bar, I am 100% sure I made a lot of mistakes because I knew it. I was doing it, right? The guests may not have realized it, but I did make a lot of mistakes. Despite of all those errors, at the end of it, I was a happy man. So, I think that itself was a great feeling. And I think that was also a very encouraging moment for me to be able to go back to the bar the next day and look forward to actually being a better bartender, knowing more about cocktails, about proper service. Yeah, so I think that was definitely one of the most momentous time for me. Cocktail making is definitely a process, right? You have the certain do's and don'ts. So I think initially you learn the basics of cocktail making, like the processes, the ingredients, what works, what does not work. It's also about understanding flavor profiles, whether it's a spirit, whether it's a non-alcoholic beverage, whether it's a fresh flavor. So initially it is an understanding of all of those things. And it comes through practice. It does not happen overnight. So every time I have come across flavors of Monin and also about new flavors of Monin, I've always said this thing that it only makes the life of a bartender much more easier and simpler because it does two things. One is it helps you to expand your horizon of flavors. Secondly, which is also very, very important, is consistency. While I may create flavors in my bar myself by creating syrups, by creating whatever infusions or whatever else, but for me, sometimes the consistency might not be accurate. So my drinks could be good or average, right? What Monin does is it definitely brings in that consistency while it also gives you a wider horizon when it comes to flavor profiling or flavor variation, right? So it does work and make the life of a bartender much, 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 much easier. I think Yangdup's story is purely about something that is really original. Whenever I narrate a story for a cocktail or an inspiration, it has to be original. So it's purely about experiences that I've had. And cocktails are all about bringing every element together and finding a right balance. And that is exactly what I try to do through my many stories, as well as the connect between the story and the drink, which is also equally important. And when you say it straight from the heart, the connect is always there. And that is what I believe in. I always define bartending and the quality of a bartender beyond just a drink. I always say you are a good bartender and you can create a good bar only when the beer starts to taste better at your bar than in the house that the guest sits and drinks it. it is beyond the drink, beyond the recipe, and it is all about personality. It is purely about character. Interestingly, in a bar, you will not only have happy guests, you will also have people who are depressed, who are sad, who come to the bar. I think the great quality of a bartender is to be able to connect with both the guest who is there to celebrate as well as a guest who is there and wants the bartender to lend his shoulder for him to cry. Right? So that connect is very important. So it's all about human connect first. And then of course, if you can complement that with a fantastic recipe, right technique, good flavor balance, it's always beyond just an experience. It's beyond just a drink, right? I think I've been very blessed because whatever I've done right from my early stages of working in a hotel to now, I think I've been very lucky and very blessed because first and foremost, I found very good people above me and below me to work together. So I found a great atmosphere to work. I think that was definitely an instrumental reason for me to be able to enjoy the space. So yeah, I think the journey has been fantastic, no regrets, and I've been very, very lucky and blessed to be able to enjoy the 28 years of my journey through and through. And I really look forward to another at least 10 years of more concocting journey of life. Yes, absolutely.